Welcome back to the deep dive. So, usually when a massive TV show ends, you get
What?
a nice, polite little victory lap.
Right, a 10-minute featurette.
Exactly. A little YouTube special where everyone hugs, the director says it was pure magic, the actors all say they're a family, and we all move on.
It's polished, it's safe.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
It is pure marketing, but today, today we're looking at something completely different.
Yeah, we are.
We're digging into one last adventure, the making of Stranger Things 5, and calling this a making of is like a massive understatement.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a 2-hour documentary that dropped on January 12, 2026, and honestly, it feels less like a celebration and more like a technical post-mortem of a near disaster.
That is the perfect way to frame it. A post-mortem. Martina Radwan directed this, and she wasn't just dropping by the set for a few days to get B-roll.
No, she was embedded.
For over a year, she was in the trenches. And what she captured is it's startlingly raw. It shows this immense, grinding friction between this huge artistic vision and the cracking reality of landing a cultural jumbo jet.
Without crashing it. And our mission today is to look past all the internet noise. And oh boy, we are getting to the fan theories and the meltdowns to really understand how the Duffer Brothers actually pulled this off. Because the story we've been sold is that they're geniuses with a master plan who knew the ending from day one.
And this documentary tells a very, very different story.
A much more chaotic, more human, and frankly, a much more interesting one.
It completely dispels that myth.
Yeah.
We think of these franchises, Marvel, Star Wars, Stranger Things, as these well-oiled machines.
Right.
But this reveals a production that was sprinting, stumbling, and rewriting itself while the cameras were literally rolling.
So let's start with just the physics of it, the scale. We all watched season 5. We knew it was big. But the numbers in this documentary, big doesn't quite cover it.
No. Industrial is a better word. Yeah. Or maybe planetary. Let's just look at the data footprint. The main unit alone, just the primary cameras, generated 1 petabyte of data.
Okay, stop there. 1 petabyte. I feel like that word just bounces off the brain.
It's an abstract number.
Yeah. So for you listening, if you just use a laptop for emails, what does a petabyte actually look like?
Okay, think of it this way. 1 petabyte is 1,000 terabytes.
Yeah.
A high-end external hard drive you buy today, maybe 1 or 2 terabytes.
Right.
You can film 4K video on your phone, nonstop, 24/7, for decades before you hit a petabyte.
That is absolutely absurd.
It's a logistical nightmare. You see the DIT, the digital imaging technician, in the dock, and he's basically managing a Google-sized data center in a muddy backlot in Georgia.
And that's just the digital side.
Right. Physically, they were running 12 full-time sound stages simultaneously.
The whole city.
It was a city. And they built that custom backlot just for Chapter 4, Sorcerer. Remember that one?
I do. The geography looked totally new. I wondered about that.
Exactly. Because it was. They literally terraformed a massive chunk of land because the place they needed didn't exist. So when you see the doc's runtime is about 122 minutes.
The length of a movie.
It mirrors the season. The episodes were cinematic, so the making of had to be too. Radwan even said she was inspired by the Lord of the Rings appendices.
Wow. That level of detail.
That obsessive, almost scholarly level of detail.
And you feel that weight watching it. There are shots of Matt and Ross Duffer where they just look gray.
Oh, yeah.
They don't look like they're having fun all the time. They look like they are surviving a war.
Which brings us to the reason why they look so stressed. This is probably the biggest bombshell in the whole thing.
The scripting crisis.
This scripting crisis.
Yeah.
We all thought, because of the 2023 strikes, they had all this time to polish the script.
Right, that they'd be perfect. Locked and loaded for the 2024 shoot.
But the documentary admits very candidly that they started filming without a finished script for the finale, for the right side up.
Just let that sink in.
I mean, imagine you're running a marathon. You're at mile 20. Your legs are on fire. And someone runs up and says, hey, by the way, we haven't actually decided where the finish line is yet.
Just keep running.
Just keep running. We'll let you know. That's what was happening.
And there's that term they use in the doc that just screams panic, red pages.
Yes, the dreaded red pages.
We see this PA, Montana Maniscalco, just running around the set, clutching these red packets. For those of us not in the industry, what does that mean? Why red?
So script revisions are color-coded. You start with white. Then blue, pink, yellow. Red is deep, deep in the revision cycle. It means you are changing things at the very last second.
So actors are getting lines in the makeup chair.
Lines that might be totally different from what they prepped the night before. And this wasn't for some small scene. This was for episode 8, the climax.
So why? Why did this happen?
Well, 2 reasons. Burnout and the Netflix machine. The Duffers joke, but it's a dark joke, that they should have been actors because writing is too painful. They were juggling 19 character arcs.
19 endings.
Trying to weave all those together into something satisfying it's intellectually crushing.
And the clock is always ticking.
Right. Netflix has a release schedule. And on top of that, you have the noise, fan expectations. Every day they delayed, the internet theories got wilder. That creates this prolonged uncertainty that can just paralyze you.
And that context, it changes everything about how we see the finale. Specifically, it reframes the controversies that blew up the internet. We have to talk about conformity gate.
Oh, yes. The theory that would not die.
For you listening, if you somehow avoided this rabbit hole, conformity gate was this massive fan theory that the finale's happy ending was fake.
A simulation.
A Vecna simulation. And fans were convinced they had proof.
Oh, they had spreadsheets? Screenshots with red circles?
They pointed to stuff like the graduates clasping their hands in a way that looked like Henry Creel. Or milkshakes at Melvald's with logos that didn't exist in 1987, or characters like Susie just missing from crowd shots. These were glitches in the Matrix.
Clues from the geniuses.
And the documentary just takes a sledgehammer to this theory.
Destroys it.
But notice how it destroys it. It doesn't say, no, you're wrong because we're brilliant. It says, no, you're wrong because we messed up.
Exactly. These weren't 4D chess moves. They were continuity errors from a frantic production.
So the hand clasping.
Just a background director telling the extras to look uniform.
Yeah.
No hidden meaning.
The milkshakes.
A prop guy grabbed the wrong cup. Simple as that.
And Susie and Vicky being gone.
Scheduling conflicts?
Yeah.
They physically couldn't get the actors to Atlanta for the shoot.
There's that viral clip from the doc. It's my favorite moment. Maya Hawke, who plays Robin, literally stops the scene.
Yes. This is the smoking gun. She breaks character and tells the director, Sean Levy, hey, logically, Lucas shouldn't know about me and Vicky yet.
She points out a plot hole in real time.
And Levy basically just says, yeah, you're right, but we have to shoot. He has to. They don't have time to stop and fix it.
That one moment proves the glitches weren't hidden messages. They were symptoms of a team just trying to keep the train on the tracks.
It's fascinating, right? We want to believe in the master plan. But the reality is sometimes a milkshake is just a milkshake.
And speaking of not believing in master plans, that brings us to the other elephant in the room. The AI accusations.
Ugh, this is ugly.
It was. Someone spotted a laptop in a blurry shot of the writer's room, and Twitter just exploded. ChatGPT wrote the finale.
Which is so insulting. And in the doc, director Radwan addresses it head-on. She calls the claims heartbreaking. And she asks, can an LLM handle the emotional nuance of a 19-person ensemble?
And the answer is clearly no.
No. The documentary shows the fights, the arguments over single lines of dialogue. That friction is the quality control. AI gives you smooth, average text.
The messiness is proof that it was human.
Precisely. The flaws are the fingerprints.
So we've talked about the chaos of what did happen, but the doc also opens the vault on what didn't happen, the scrapped concepts.
The Abyss monster horde.
Yes. Paul Dichter, one of the writers, wanted the Abyss to be a full-on war zone. Demogorgons, demodogs, like Starship Troopers.
A total monster mosh pit.
But Ross Duffer and Kate Treffry killed it. They cited demo fatigue.
Which is smart, I think. Very mature. They'd already done the huge monster battle in Sorcerer. If they just did it again in the finale, it becomes a video game. It numbs you.
I remember fans complaining the Abyss felt empty. Do you think they made the right call?
It's quality versus quantity. By stripping away the hordes, they focused everything on Vecna and the Mind Flayer. It prioritizes personal stakes over spectacle. You can't have a deep conversation about your trauma while fighting 500 monsters.
That's a great point. And speaking of trauma, we have to talk about 11. The 11 paradox.
This is the philosophical core of the whole show. The Duffers state explicitly that 11 represents the magic of childhood.
That hit me hard when I heard it. It makes so much sense.
It's profound. If the show is about growing up and 11's the magic, then for the kids to truly grow up, the magic has to leave.
So the writer's room was torn. They debated killing her. A definitive sacrificial death.
The logical literary conclusion. But they chose the fake death. The ambiguity.
Why not just commit?
Because they wanted the ending to be hopeful. But more than that, they wanted to capture the feeling of sitting with uncertainty.
What do you mean by that?
Growing up isn't about getting clear answers. It's about moving forward when you don't know the outcome. By having Mike think she survived, but not showing it, they force the viewer to feel that same uncertainty.
It forces us to have faith, not proof.
Exactly. It forces us to grow up with the characters.
Let's shift from the writers to the cast. Watching Millie Bobby Brown in this, I mean, we watched her grow up on screen, but this was heavy.
It is gut-wrenching. She started at 10 years old, finished at 20. The doc shows the final table read, and that moment with David Harbour.
Where she just breaks down and tells him, "You became my dad."
Yes. She's sobbing. And you have to remember, the tabloids spent years inventing rumors about friction on set. But seeing that raw emotion, it just cements that the bond was real. That relationship was the anchor for the whole show.
And on the flip side, you have Jamie Campbell Bower. The guy is terrifyingly committed.
He's a true craftsman. We see him channeling the hive mind. But what I loved was seeing him teach Noah Schnapp how to do it.
Because Will is connected to Vecna.
Exactly. It wasn't just act scary. They developed a shared physical language for the possession. The twitching, the breathing, it was a collaboration.
And the makeup, people assume it's all green screen.
Not on this show. The pain tree in Vecna's lair, that was a physically sculpted prop. They built it.
The melty room.
All practical. Wax, silicone, slime. They wanted it to feel tactile, like the 80s movies they loved. The Thing, Aliens. CGI looks too smooth.
That commitment to the vibe, which brings us to the music. The Duffers were obsessed with getting Prince for this season.
When Doves Cry, they fought for it. It just captures 1987. But the real musical Easter egg is in the credits.
Joe Keery.
They let Joe Keery, Steve, pick the final track for the end credits.
That's a massive amount of trust.
It is. It shows they saw the actors as true collaborators. Steve is the heart of the show, and they trusted Keery to know the emotional tone of the goodbye.
Okay, I want to nerd out for a second before we wrap. The Easter eggs. Did you catch the Goonies one?
The tracksuit.
Yes. Eleven's gray, red, and blue tracksuit. It's a color-reversed replica of Josh Brolin's outfit in The Goonies.
Which is such a beautiful meta-tribute to Sean Astin, to Bob Newby.
It connects the generations of the show.
Yeah.
And there were Poltergeist nods, the Miami Vice plan callback. It's a love letter to the fans who are paying attention.
It rewards that obsessive viewing for sure.
But the big question, what comes next? Because the doc makes it clear, Hawkins is done, the kids are gone, but the franchise isn't.
No, the universe is expanding, but they're being smart. No Steve and Dustin go to college sitcom.
Thank goodness. Instead, we're getting Tales from '85, an animated series.
Which is the only way to do it. The actors have aged out of those roles. If you want more kids on bike stories, you have to draw them.
Very true. But the one that really got my attention was The Nevada Project. The documentary drops a huge hint.
Young Henry Creel in the desert cave.
Finding that space rock, it implies his first contact with the Mind Flayer happened way back then.
Right. So the spin-off is exploring the 1940s or 50s mythology.
A completely different tone.
Totally. It's closer to X-Files or Roswell than the Goonies. Darker. Maybe more noir.
And then there's the play, The First Shadow, which might get a proshoot release.
It's becoming a transmedia empire, but they're exploring different genres instead of just repeating the formula.
So, bringing it all home, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from One Last Adventure?
Context. It explains why the finale was polarizing. It wasn't arrogance or laziness, it was a fight against a massive machine, the schedule, the expectations, to land a deeply personal story. It rehumanizes the content we consume.
It really does. It's that final shot in the doc that gets me. The boys leaving the Dungeons & Dragons books in the basement.
And Holly Wheeler taking their seat.
Yeah. The game doesn't end. The players just change.
The mythos evolves.
So I want to leave you with a thought to mull over. Knowing that all those clues from Conformity Gate were just production mistakes. Does that ruin the magic for you? Or does realizing this massive show was made by exhausted humans with red script pages actually make the achievement even more impressive?
That's the question. Perfection is artificial. The struggle is real.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you on the next one.